I swear, I've never felt betrayal hit me that hard before. You know, that kind of cold numbness that crawls up your spine when you realize people you trusted, your own parents, took advantage of you. Yeah, that was me. One phone call, one casual sentence from my mom, and everything I thought I knew about family, love, and trust shattered. I had asked a simple question, "Hey Mom, when are we going on that family vacation I paid for?" And she laughed before saying, "Oh honey, the whole family went last week." Tell me, am I wrong for feeling like I never want to see them again? Would you forgive something like that, or would you cut them off completely? I guess I should start from the beginning, because this wasn't some random act of cruelty. It was a build-up years of small betrayals, guilt trips, and emotional manipulation that I never wanted to see. My name's Lucas, and I grew up as the responsible one in my family. My younger sister Ella was always the golden child. I was the quiet, obedient son who followed rules, got good grades, and tried to make my parents proud. They used to tell me, "You're the rock of this family, Lucas." What they really meant was, "You're the one who will hold us together no matter how much we take from you." When I was a kid, my parents struggled financially. My dad lost his job when I was 10, and Mom worked 2 part-time gigs just to keep the lights on. I remember swearing to myself that one day I'd earn enough to give them everything they ever wanted. That promise became my obsession. I studied hard, got scholarships, and eventually landed a solid tech job in another city. At 27, I was finally in a position to give back, to repay them for everything they'd sacrificed, or at least everything I thought they'd sacrificed. Over the years, I helped them out whenever I could, paid their utility bills a few times, covered Ella's college tuition when Dad said they couldn't afford it. I even gave them money to renovate the kitchen last Christmas because Mom said it would make her feel proud to host family again. Every time, they thanked me like I was a saint, saying I was the best son any parents could ask for, but the gratitude never lasted long. Soon enough, they'd be back, hinting at the next favor. A few months ago, Mom called me, all cheerful and sentimental. "Lucas, you've been working so hard, sweetheart. Why don't we plan a family vacation, somewhere nice like Hawaii or maybe Italy? We all deserve it." I thought it sounded great. We hadn't had a proper family trip in years. She said it would be her dream to see the ocean with all of us together again. My heart softened instantly. I told her, "You know what, Mom? Let me handle it. You guys have done so much for me. Let this one be on me." She protested half-heartedly, saying, "Oh, we can pitch in too," but I knew she wouldn't. Still, I wanted to do it. So I started planning. I researched packages, compared flights, and finally booked an all-inclusive 7-day trip to Maui Luxury Resort, ocean, view suites, everything. The total cost just over $9,200. Yeah, it stung, but it was worth it to make them happy. I sent the booking details to Mom so she could check everyone's availability. I told her, "Pick the week that works best for all of you. I'll get the time off approved." She said she'd coordinate with Dad and Ella and call me back. A few days later, she texted, "We're looking at late May. It works best for everyone." Perfect, I thought. I told my boss I'd need that week off. He approved it without hesitation. May rolled around, and I called to confirm the flight times. That's when things started feeling weird. Mom was oddly evasive on the phone. "Oh, we're still figuring out logistics, sweetheart. I'll send you the final itinerary soon." I brushed it off. Maybe she was just busy, but a few days before the supposed trip, I hadn't heard a thing. No flight confirmations, no hotel details, nothing. So I called again, and she didn't pick up. Then Dad, then Ella. No one answered. I even texted, "Hey, I just need to know what time our flight is." No reply. At that point, I started worrying. Maybe someone got sick. Maybe the trip was canceled. Days passed, and I just assumed the plan had fallen apart. Then, about a week later, Mom called me out of the blue. She sounded cheerful, relaxed. I could hear waves and laughter in the background. "Hey, sweetheart, how's work?" she asked. I said, "It's fine, Mom, but I've been trying to reach you. What's going on with the vacation?" And that's when she said it casually, like it was nothing. "Oh, honey, the whole family went last week. It was amazing. The weather was perfect, and my mind went blank." "Wait," I said slowly. "What do you mean the family went? I am family." She chuckled nervously. "Well, you've been so busy with work, and we didn't want to stress you out. So we thought it'd be best to let you rest while we went. Besides, you're always saying you don't get enough time for yourself." I swear, I didn't even know how to respond. My heart was pounding in my ears. "Mom," I said, my voice trembling, "I paid for that vacation. That was supposed to be for all of us." She sighed, sounding almost annoyed. "Oh, Lucas, don't make this a big deal. We thought of you the whole time. We brought you a souvenir t-shirt, okay? You're so generous, sweetheart. You made this trip possible for the family." I felt like I was going to be sick. They had taken my money, gone on my trip, and acted like they'd done me a favor by leaving me behind. I hung up without saying another word. For the next few days, I ignored every message and call. When I finally looked at my phone again, there were texts from Ella, full of vacation photos her on the beach, Mom at a fancy dinner, Dad in a floral shirt holding a cocktail. Her caption read, "Best family trip ever. Thanks, bro." That bro broke me. They didn't even see what they did wrong. I sat in my apartment for hours, staring at my computer screen, trying to process it. The humiliation, the disbelief, it all mixed with this deep, aching sadness. How could people who raised me think this was okay? I replayed every past favor in my head every time I'd bailed them out. Every time I'd said, "Don't worry about it." Suddenly, it all clicked. They'd never seen me as an equal to them. I was just a wallet with feelings they could ignore. So that's the situation I was in. My parents and sister had gone on the luxury vacation I paid for without me, and didn't even think they'd done anything wrong. Before I tell you what I did next, I really want to know. What would you have done in my shoes? Would you confront them? Cut them off? Try to forgive them? Pause for a second and tell me in the comments, because honestly, I still wonder if my reaction was too much. A week after that call, I finally decided I couldn't let it slide. I needed answers, so I drove down to my parents' house unannounced. When Mom opened the door, her face froze. She clearly wasn't expecting me. "Lucas, what a surprise," she said, her tone too cheerful to be real. I stepped inside, looked around, and there it was, a photo of all of them from the trip, framed and sitting on the mantel. The caption, printed underneath, read, "Family Memories Maui 2025. I stared at it for a long moment before asking quietly, "Why did you do it?" Dad came into the room then, pretending nothing was wrong. "Hey, sport, you want some coffee?" I ignored him. "Why did you go without me? I paid for that trip. Was this a joke to you?" Mom sighed, placing her hands on her hips like I was the unreasonable one. "Lucas, you're blowing this out of proportion. You work too much. You wouldn't have enjoyed it anyway." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. "So you just decided for me," I said, my voice shaking. "You thought I wouldn't notice. You thought I'd just forget that I paid nearly 10 grand for it." Ella wandered in from the kitchen, holding her phone. "Oh my God, are we seriously still talking about this? You're being dramatic. You make way more money than we do. It's not a big deal." That's when something inside me snapped. I looked at her, then at my parents, and said, "You know what, you're right. It's not a big deal because it's never going to happen again." I pulled out my phone and showed them the bank transfer screen. "Every single payment I've sent you over the past 2 years, I'm reporting as unauthorized gifts. You can deal with the IRS for that." Their faces went pale. Dad started stammering something about family shouldn't fight over money, but I cut him off. Family doesn't steal from each other. Family doesn't go on a vacation paid for by their son and leave him behind. I walked toward the door and Mom tried to grab my arm. "Lucas, please, we didn't mean to hurt you." I turned to her and said the one thing that had been burning in my chest for days. "No, You meant to use me, and you did. Congratulations. I left and haven't been back since. They tried calling me for weeks. Mom sent these long guilt-tripping messages about forgiveness. And how could you do this to your family? But the more I thought about it, the clearer it became they weren't sorry about what they did. They were sorry I stopped playing my role. About a month later, Ella called me crying. Apparently, the IRS actually audited them because of the flagged transfers. I guess my little threat worked a bit too well. I didn't intend to ruin them, but part of me felt vindicated. For once, they had to face consequences. She said, "Mom and Dad are so stressed, Lucas. Can't you fix this?" I told her I can't fix what they broke. Maybe next time they'll think before treating me like their personal ATM. Since then, things have been quiet. I've built a new life for myself, focused on my own happiness, my own boundaries. It's strange how peaceful it feels when you stop trying to earn the love of people who only see your worth in dollars. A few friends have told me I should reconcile, that family is family, but honestly, I've learned that blood doesn't automatically mean loyalty. Some people just use that word to keep you chained to their mistakes. Still, sometimes at night, I'll think back to the little boy who promised to take care of his parents. I feel bad for him. He didn't know that love could be so one-sided. He didn't know that someday the people he adored would sit on a beach halfway across the world, sipping cocktails bought with his money, and not even think to include him. That realization still stings, but it's also what finally set me free. So yeah, that's my story. My parents and sister went on a vacation I paid for and didn't even invite me. I confronted them, cut them off, and I don't regret it. Maybe that makes me cold, maybe it makes me finally smart. I'll let you decide. What would you have done if your own family treated you like that? Would you ever forgive them? If you think I did the right thing, hit that like button to show your support. And if you've ever been betrayed by family, share your story in the comments. I read every single one. Don't forget to subscribe for more real-life stories like this. I'll see you all in the next one.